Hey guys, just a quick video on a little tool that I made quite a while ago just for testing DC brushless fans. So anything that's like, in a PC or other type of electronics will work fine. I built it to test 2-wire, 3-wire. You can plug a 4-wire on, but the 4th wire I don't actually test. So it's only really for, it'll still run, the 4-wire will still run, but it's really only for really 3-pin to test to make sure that the fan's working and to see how much air it's going to blow through, because sometimes you want a fan that doesn't blow too much, sometimes you want one that blows a lot, just depending on what application you're trying to do. So I made this little setup. So basically this is just a little plug pack, obviously with the Australian plug. You can use any plug pack that's around 12 volts or less. 13.8 is probably a little bit too high, but anything like around 10 volts to 12 volts will be fine. Even probably 9 volts is probably going to be fine. It's just some fans start to get a little bit picky the lower the voltage you go, because most fans are 12 volt that go into PCs and stuff. If you're using 5 volt fans and you want a little tester for 5 volt fans, then obviously you use a plug pack that outputs 5 volts. So that goes without saying. So yeah, so this is a little plug pack. It's simple, it's not very high tech. You just get your plug pack, plug it in, so I'll plug it in over here. Rightio. Now, we've just got a little PCB here, just a bit of Veriboard, nothing tricky at all. A little plug that I've modified, because I wanted to be able to take 2, 3 and 4 pin fans. So as you can see there's actually 4 pins, but the 4th pin there isn't needed. And as you can see, I've actually cut away a little notch so that when you go to plug the fan connectors in, you can put in a 2, 3 or 4 so they all fit. And that helps with polarization of the plug so that you don't plug it in around the wrong way. So basically what the LED does is it's on the RPM line, which is usually yellow. It's not yellow on this cable, because obviously that would be too convenient. This is an Intel fan, and yellow, I think yellow's positive. But they don't, normally on most fans, yellow is the RPM signal. So the thing that this tests the LED, that just tests to make sure that the RPM line is running, and you're getting a good signal out of it. Because a lot of the time, with most PCs and stuff that I build, I want to know the RPM of the fan just in case one fails or gets a little bit too slow, especially if you're using them like in a server. Like my server's got fans and they're all monitored as well. So it can be an important thing. So it's good to be able to test it to make sure that the fan is working and the RPM line. Because a lot of the time you can get a fan like these guys here. See, this has only got the 2 lines, so it's only got power. But underneath the sticker in here, there'll be another extra solder point, and sometimes that's the RPM line, and sometimes they've actually put the parts on here to actually get a signal out, but they never wire the actual wire in. So you can peel this back, have a look under there, put a wire on there, and then you can plug it in here into my little tester, and it will tell you if the RPM line is actually working or not. So that's another handy feature for it. So yeah, so it's pretty basic. There's no resistors. You probably should have a resistor for the LED. I used it's either blue or purple. I think this was one blue. And the reason I did that is because the forward voltage of blue is about 3.6 volts around there, which is what I wanted, whereas the red's only, what is it, like 1.5 to 2 volts or something, which is too low. You'd have to use a resistor for that. But for the blue, you don't have to. If you want to put 100 ohm in there, that's totally fine, but it works without it. So I've got the fan here. This is just a little Intel one. So I'll just plug it in just to show you how it works. So you just plug it in like that. And as you can see, yeah, that LED's quite bright. I'm not sure if the camera... Yeah, so the camera is showing, you can actually see well, I can see it here, the refresh rate of the LED. Normally, if it's not on camera, it just looks solid because your eyes don't pick up the actual frequency that's running. Now, if I just touch the fan itself, you'll see, if I slow it down, you can see how the frequency changes. So it is actually monitoring the RPM line. So that's basically all it does, guys. Like, it's fairly simple. Just get your fan. Now you can, you know, see how much air it's outputting. These ones are actually temperature controlled anyway. So having this is a little on the RPM line is a little bit redundant because it's going to change its speed depending on heat anyway, because it's got the thermistor there, which some fans do, not all, some do. So that's cool. So yeah, so it's really handy just for testing fans for noise and airflow if you want to use them in a case. And you don't want a lot of noise. This one's probably, it is a tad noisy, but air-wise, I probably need a little bit less. Normally the fans that are like half width of these output a lot less air because of the fins. So I'll probably be getting, this is the right size, but I'll be getting the skinnier one just so that it outputs less, less air and less noise. So anyway, guys, that's it.